Glenn, almost failed in the first mission.
Good.
The budget out there. So we look at city council jobs.
Yeah. Almost failed in the first mission. No,
Feel safer knowing they're.
All right.
Back there again, second time.
Second time?
And fail.
Oh, chief.
Thank you.
So if we look at fire station, it's easy to kind of simplify it.
Where's toe tag?
He's over there in the lobby still.
Oh,
I think, I don't know, did they take him?
So we're looking at, okay, what do we need to bring up each year? So we want to get your signature. So us, we have a budget each year that might be a different priority. So if it was this year, we'll do this night, next year. It's really trying to smooth out that demand and just get us ready as well.
he's over there in the chair. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Back in the fiscal 2022. Council did, an exercise, we prioritized a list about, went to about $200 million, I think about now it's about $225 million. A lot of those projects on there were prioritized.
We're at surprise,
What projects are on the list, on the deal.
surprise city council meeting.
Prioritizing the list, how much money we have, and what we can afford.
And toe tag has a pacemaker and they wand it.
But the
And
thing about growth,
yeah, he's still sitting over there.
here in Grove City, we're aware of that. So not only knowing what do we need in the next 5 years, but our revenue doesn't increase. However, our revenue increases because people are increasing. What happens when people increase is the demand for services also increases. So unfortunately, that additional revenue isn't discretionary revenue that we can spend on the revenue. Right. We have to use some of that to go towards those basic level of services that we're already providing to the people that are currently here. So if that's X amount of
duties and what they should be doing.
firefighters,
I get it, you know,
some of
it's
that revenue that's coming in is gonna offset those costs.
I do support the because I don't fire
That's a
myself.
great question.
You just don't bring them here. I don't bring them here, no, because the force no one's allowed to. Yeah, I get on force and violence, because otherwise we. And so they've got to be able to decide that, so that they can maintain their options on force and violence. And I think it's an important thing that they disarm us for, you know, for their safety. I mean, you have some valid points. You know,
Especially in a political place, it's good to not have guns or firearms.
except for the government.
Except for the government.
Right, the government should.
For regulation
Right,
reasons,
right.
yeah.
Only the government should have guns, and because I truly believe because of the Second Amendment is why we have the freedoms we still have today. I mean, I know some of them we trample on, some stuff, you know, but I do. I mean, the right to criticize the city attorney was trampled on just a few weeks ago. Did you see that? Yeah. I know Rebecca Massey actually. Okay, yeah.
Hey, this is a public service.
Somebody had been there that had been armed and ready.
Listen, I've never commented in here before, because you're not a moderator.
And that's really what the Second Amendment is about. Yeah. It's about when that guy goes and puts his hands on Rebecca.
Welcome
Massey,
in, this is a public service.
and says, whoa. Well, it puts us all
We're in Surprise, Arizona. This is where that Massey girl was arrested for talking cheat on the government.
of a sudden, the guy's on top of
Don't criticize the government, guys.
dialogue goes out the window. And honestly, I disagree with what happened. I was very vocal about it. Yeah. As a matter of fact, me being a former firefighter and being a public safety, you know, I work with police officers and, you know, obviously firefighters. I still have a lot of good friends that are in service and, you know, and I honestly actually had criticized this situation, former city attorney, and also I asked for the resignation of the police chief as well. Because he hasn't resigned. No, and I think more than anything, I think that would bring back some civility if they were to do that.
You know, I think you're right, and the reason is not just because, like, what happened, right? It was a mistake, it was stupid, you know, maybe some people were ignorant, but they got educated. The problem is that the chief still to this day stands behind what they do. And when you've got somebody who just can't learn their lesson, who can't understand and can't say, you know what, we made some mistakes, let's move forward better, that person's a job.
And you know, they're appointed by the city, council, and, so they serve at the pleasure of the governing body of the city, so they can easily fire, let go, hire, and fire people in those positions, so. And I did put a lot of criticism about that, out there in the public, about that, and I was very vocal that, you should resign. Because I think that would bring back sensibility to the city.
Yep.
You
Criticizing your government is very dangerous.
Yes. So, but yeah, it was nice talking to you for sure.
Yeah, you too.
This is my daughter, by the way.
I was supposed to bring my daughter.
She's 15, and it's the first time she's been to a city council meeting, so.
Awesome. I was supposed to bring my 15-year-old daughter today too, actually. For real, she's usually, a lot of times she's my camera person. She had a church event, and she didn't want to miss.
What's her name?
Emma.
You live out here Surprise, or?
No, we actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do some training for stuff.
Oh, okay. What's your organization?
James Freedom.
Oh, okay. I heard a little bit about, I think Rebecca sent me some stuff about that. Yeah. You guys got some YouTube videos floating out there? So,
Yeah.
no,
I don't do things like Rebecca does. She gets things done. My thing is I just point at the stupidity and the ridiculousness and then walk away. Because really, when we really start breaking it down, like almost every single aspect of what's going on here is ridiculous and out of control. But that's like, it's a nonstop battle, and every day they're passing new ordinances, new laws. You can never, with litigation, well, you can never, ever keep up with
No,
this.
I'm a strong believer, if you're gonna pass a new ordinance or something with the city need to repeal these 10, if you're gonna pass a new one, because the books just keep getting thicker and thicker as you go. You want to get that.
Nobody
down.
knows every law that you're breaking, and you don't know it.
They really think that if they passed an ordinance or a state law, that means it's okay. Like it was once law, you could own them. You could actually own thousands of them if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the metric we're gonna use.
I get your frustration, man, and I hopefully you guys get your point across, and it's good to let people know what's going on.
Was you there when this Massey got arrested?
No, I was not. I saw the video after the fact.
Like most of us, yeah.
And then I did see the videos that they released. The body cam videos.
Sorry we had to search you and want you, it's just very important to us that the government would only people that take on, okay? And that's for the government's safety, not for yours.
I totally agree.
God bless the
I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, God bless the Uvalde Police
Well, it was
Department.
nice talking to you.
Fuck the sex traders.
Yep.
You feel safer knowing that only the government is out doing yours? Well, the store, everything.
Go to the store, and the pictures, limit two, strike that three and say you want the same price. The sign right says limit, speed limit. The news, they got the news. Average speed on 51.
Oh, this guy didn't get wanted. You gotta go through security.
You didn't get one.
You know, they put that average speed, 75 miles an hour.
You're hired, Freeman Security Company. He's making sure everybody's, is he still sitting there? Hey, toe tag's still there?
They usually just let the government go by without checking them. We've gotten two of them. forgot my clipboard, it's in the car. That's the one thing I forgot, was clipboard. I also,
Welcome, Deb Anderson. Oh, I'm muted? No, just nobody's saying something. I'm not muted. You hear me now, right? Joe Cool. Hey, everybody hear me, right? Because my thing's saying I'm not muted. Put a 1 if you hear me. Put a 2 if you don't care. Good, everybody here is good. Yeah, I was just not talking, probably is why, and nobody was talking.
If you guys could just leave out of here and come back in with a gun.
Here he comes.
Get it outside or something.
did they search you?
You okay?
No,
I got you. Did they search you?
no,
Is your pacemaker okay now?
yeah, I'm all right. Fucking idiot.
This guy right here is a sergeant, he was laughing about it.
Yeah, you did. And I got it.
You were laughing about it?
What's that? No, I'm laughing at him. I wasn't laughing at the situation with you.
Are you gonna train your?
He's still smirking.
I was actually the one trying to tell him, and if you watch the video, I was trying to tell him, no, he's the one who's
Yeah.
telling him
I wasn't worried about any video or anything.
So
I was
I-
Did you
worried
just say
about-
that I said to Wanda?
Yes, you absolutely did. And I actually told him to start patting you down, that you don't want someone with a pacemaker.
No, I told him to put the
No,
one
no.
on the table.
You can wand me, but from the waist down.
Yeah.
You can pat me
So-
down if you want to from the waist
So,
up.
the way we normally do it is, anyone with a pacemaker, we just pat down. That way we don't even bring something.
What do you do?
I know it was a-
Park pill
it
or
was a
something, forget
mistake.
about it?
You guys
Dude,
make
he
a
went
lot of
from-
mistakes
He
here,
went
don't
from
you?
my feet up to my head.
Did you tell
When
me
I'm
you
standing
had a
there saying, I got a belt on, I got a wallet, and I'm holding it up, you can only do me from the waist down.
Did you tell me you had a pacemaker?
Yes, both of them.
Times. Oh, times.
What's the guy who wanted you? One of these guys?
This one.
The only one that's been wanted the whole
What,
time.
really?
It's really the sergeant's fault though.
Sure, that's ours.
I mean, Sarge watched. I didn't hear nothing come out.
Sarge was trying to tell Miller to
Talk.
molest him with his hands.
Fine, tell us
He
in
didn't
the
say you had a
process.
pacemaker. See, you looking at that camera hard. Did he tell you you had a pacemaker? You don't get asked that shit in court anyway. I don't see you get used to it now.
Fucking awesome. That was-
Did he tell you you had a pacemaker? No comment? Well, I'll ask you. I'll ask you this. Did he tell me you had a pacemaker?
We gotta have one. For our somebody. She's got one, that's just one.
Yeah, he said he was.
Sorry.
We're not doing it.
We gotta have one. We gotta have to go through this.
I gotta say,
Need to sit down?
I wanna go in there and fucking knock that dude in his fucking face, dude.
Did it skip a beat when you did it? Did it jump or what happened?
No, dude, it's like, I just, tense.
I was turning around, I didn't even see what he did, so he went up the whole body.
Dude, I was standing there holding my shit with my belt like this. Dude, I got a belt and my wallet. You can only do me from the waist down. He went from my feet all the way up to my fucking eyeballs, dude. And I jumped. It was like, I think it was just pure shock or fucking,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But still, dude, I could have fucking dropped to the fucking floor right now. Twitching like a fucking, can't even fucking go live, man. I'm so
What?
fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Drive fucking what, 200 fucking miles to get shocked by some motherfucking idiot. At least Tucson has their fucking heads out their ass about that.
I'm trying 200 miles to get shocked by some idiot.
Yeah, there's no point in walking through it in the morning. You got it.
Yeah, the paramedic was telling me that on these.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Out there?
The bald one.
Yeah.
He was telling me that the wands don't have the magnet inside of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how the fuck are they wanting you? If there's no magnet to tell you got a fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How the hell are they scanning you? Why do you think I can't walk through that? Because that's got a fucking magnet, I guess.
Starts in 2 minutes. Now I see James, yep.
I think these guys are getting rewards.
Cool.
But he said something about they might be last, so I don't know.
So if you got a pacemaker, man, you right.
Ah, they're cool. My brother was one. Somebody's gonna clip that and take it out of context.
You want to get your sales all here, that's what it is.
Yeah, just follow orders, right?
It ain't starting yet? Let's see where the seats are at.
That's information. I think better. That space.
Vintage Stern Classic says James Freeman is a free woman. Is that one of your trolls? Nobody bow. They're asking where Pup and Buddy Bow is. Nobody bow.
Pup is in Tucson at their city hall meeting.
I think he's supposed to be. I don't know. He's going to go there. We're trying to hit both meetings tonight. This is a surprise. This is where that Massey girl got arrested for criticizing government. Was that?
What time is the one in Tucson?
Same time.
Right now.
We can't make all of them.
It actually,
Name that was in here, that was trying to ask for a raise, you remember?
I don't know his name. Let me see.
Find it on video. You know the attorney's name who was asking for a raise? Y'all got some tuck ass.
sorry. Sorry. Crack. All the good seats are taken in there.
I'm just waiting for them to start.
All right, good evening. I'd like to call this city council meeting on Tuesday, January 21st, 2025 to order. Ms. Ruiz is going to lead us in the invocation.
Thank you for the opportunity to deliver the invocation. Let's pray. Father God, we come before you in the name of Jesus. Holy Spirit, we welcome your presence in this chamber. Lord, I pray this meeting and for these council members and our new mayor. Lord, I pray Isaiah 11:2, that the Spirit of the Lord will rest on this council and on this assembly, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and strength, the spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. Lord, I pray the spirit of knowledge, that they would know and experience your presence, the spirit of counsel to know what to do, that you would guide them and lead them and give them direction in all that they do, in all that they are to accomplish, especially in this new year. The spirit of wisdom to show them how to accomplish what you have given, what you have them to do, that you would give them the ideas and strategies needed, the spirit of understanding to be in agreement, to be on board with where you are leading them and what you are showing them, the spirit of might to give them your power, your strength, your courage, and your boldness to carry it out, the spirit of the fear of the Lord to trust and obey, that your word would be the standard to honor and reverence you in all that they do. Lord, I pray your blessing on this meeting and every member of this council. I pray your blessing over the city of Surprise, and that you would continue to bless our beautiful city and every mountain of influence in it, to the glory of your kingdom and to the glory of your name. We thank you, Lord, for your goodness and mercy. I pray this in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you. And Madam Clerk, please conduct the roll call.
Mayor Starter,
Present.
Vice Mayor Haney,
Here.
Councilmember Greenberg,
Here.
Councilmember Duffy,
Here.
Councilmember Melton,
Present.
Councilmember Hastings,
Here.
Councilmember Judd.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. So now we have the honor to have the Freedom Traditional Academy Student Council President. And I've asked her 5 times her name. I don't want to mess it up, but it's Shumi Run. Shumiran. I'm sorry.
That's good.
To lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Madam President, you can go ahead and lead us. So I just wanted to thank Shamir for being here and leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. It's an incredible thing. It takes a lot of courage, and I appreciate your commitment to our community and being a leader in that community. So I want to give this to you as a certificate of appreciation. Principal in the picture too. You lead the whole thing. It's the number. What number school is it in the entire state? Number 7 school in the entire state of Arizona. Did you want to say some words? I want to put you on the spot. Fellow council members. Oh, did you have? Oh, okay. I thought it was weird to like write down the pledge, but yeah, right up there. Good call.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Shamir Tamu, and I'm honored to serve as the Student Council President at Freedom Traditional Academy. It is with great pride that I share our school's achievement of being ranked number 7 among all public, private, and charter schools in the state of Arizona. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak tonight. That's all I have for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So, Mr. Winnie Roth, you have a city manager report.
Yes, Mayor. Tonight, we are all honored to have Glenn Stark with the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 285 presenting their 2024 Firefighter and Police Officer of the Year Awards. Glenn, welcome. It's good to have you here in the house.
Thank you. That was a tough act to follow, though. I think I might have found my replacement. As I said, my name is Glenn Stark. I'm a past commander of Mickey D. Bacon, VFW Post 285 here in Surprise. Brought several other members of the post with me. For those that don't know, VFW stands for Veterans of Foreign War. We're a group of about 1.5 million American combat veterans. We just celebrated our 125th anniversary, and we've been chartered by Congress as a fraternal and patriotic organization. As combat vets, one of the things we understand is commitment to country and our community. And there's one other group of individuals that do the same, and that's our first responders. And that's what we're here today to honor two of Surprise's best. At least that's what I've been told. And give them some of the recognition that they deserve, and they don't really get that much. The first I'd like to bring up, Chief Espy, you want to bring up firefighter Vasquez? Oh. Wait. Front. Ray will take care of you. Firefighter paramedic Jonathan Vasquez, John, as he's known in the department, is being recognized for his outstanding service, exceptional leadership, and unwavering commitment to the Surprise Fire Medical Department and the community. John's natural, quiet, but effective leader, mentoring new members while continuously refining his own skills. His influence has shaped the development of countless firefighters, and his impact extends far beyond any one event. One event that does stand out, and we need to talk about this, is his management of Surprise Fire Charity's annual golf tournament, which they have yet to invite me to, which has flourished under his guidance. His planning and dedication has made the event a success. And I understand how hard that is, because I've been doing the one for DFW for the last 5 years. One of John's peers stated, John is professional on calls, carries himself in a way that everyone should emulate. John's professionalism, full-time calls, and his off-duty efforts exemplifies the highest standards of Surprise Fire Medical Department and is worthy of this. George. Next up is our police officer of the year, Officer Carlton Williams. I understand John Vasquez is actually on duty.
No, the one with the glasses right here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the guy was here before us. I know you're talking
Guy
about.
with the camera.
Yeah. Yes.
Or, yeah,
Does he live here?
a guy having fun.
Yeah. Does he
Bring her up here.
live here?
I don't know.
You're not getting out of this. Officer Carlton Williams currently serves as full-time task force officer with the United States Marshal Service, focused on developing leads and locating violent felons that have either committed recent crimes or have absconded. Carlton is also assigned to the Surprise Police Department SWAT team, where he is a proven leader who carries influence and credibility with his peers and supervisors, and assisted with developing the department's first full-time SWAT contingent. Undoubtedly, Carlton's service in the United States Marine Corps has contributed to his success as a leader on the SWAT team. Carlton's commitment to service was best emphasized when he responded to a hostage situation near Cactus Avenue and Loop 303 on May 17, 2024. Carlton responded to the home where the female victim had escaped her captor and sought help from a nearby construction crew who called the police. The victim was being held hostage along with her baby, who was still inside the house. When officers arrived, they heard multiple rounds of gunfire from inside the home. Perimeter was set, and the immediate action team was formed. The team closed around the home and other officers located the female victim nearby. Information was relayed from the victim. The male suspect, her ex-boyfriend, broke into the house around 3 a.m., shot the victim's dog, and assaulted the victim, and would not allow her to leave with their baby. The victim was eventually able to get away from the suspect and confirmed the baby was still inside the house with the suspect. With the confirmation of the baby inside the house, the order was given to make entry and rescue the baby. Carlton, along with other courageous officers, moved forward, forced entry into the home. Working as a team, they searched the home room by room, only until the back bedroom was left to be searched. With the understanding that the shooter was still inside the home, Carlton knew with near certainty going into the bedroom to rescue the baby would result in deadly confrontation. However, without hesitation, Carlton pushed the door open, leads the team into the room. He immediately met with the sound of his crying baby in the doorway. Carlton stepped over the baby, placed himself bride covered while other team members who were able to pick the child up and carry it away to safety. Baby sustained several gunshot wounds, was in serious condition, and with the help of Surprise Fire Medical, was evacuated and is undergoing several surgeries. We're happy to say the baby is recovering and doing well. Officer Carlton Williams, along with other courageous officers, demonstrated bravery and unwavering commitment to the safety of others while consciously facing imminent peril. His understanding, performance, and ability to perform calmly under stressful conditions are consistent with the highest standards and conduct standards of the Surprise Police Department. He is therefore more than worthy of this award. Congratulations, sir. As I've said at several of these meetings before, it takes a special type of individual to run into a fire, burning house, or running towards gunfire instead of away. We understand that, those of us. I guess it's picture time. There we go.
You're gonna go Virginia first, okay? Great.
Try not to step on this. White angle.
All right, one other item. I'd like to invite up Recreation Manager Joanne S. who will introduce our new council members. Joanne.
Alex.
Come this way, Alex.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We would like to thank you for allowing us the opportunity to speak
speak this evening, and I'm excited to introduce our two dais members from the Surprise Youth Council who are sitting up on the dais with you tonight. First is Ian Huskinson, and he is a sophomore at Paradise Honors.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Ian Huskisson. This is my second year on the Surprise Youth Council and my third time speaking on the dais. This past Saturday, SYC participated in the Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service, where we helped package food and hygiene products for those in need. We are always excited to take part in community events here in Surprise and do our part to displays. We're looking forward to the year ahead and the many service opportunities to come. That is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you for participating in the MLK event. It was an incredible event. It was great to see you guys out there. Thanks for your support.
And now we'll hear from Braden Aftansky. Braden is also a sophomore at Paradise Honors.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Braden Aftansky. This is my third year on the Surprise Youth Council and my fifth time on the dais. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I'd like to share an upcoming event that we're planning on our committee. So we're going to do a street cleanup at the intersection of Litchfield and Waddell. We're going to do trash, recyclables, and we're going to collect all those and put them in the right place just for some cleaner roadways in Surprise. This event is on March 15th at 8:30 a.m. and we're excited to make a positive impact in our community. If you're interested in creating events like this and more, applications for the Surprise Youth Council will open on February 10th. We're looking for students from 8th grade to their senior year who are passionate about community engagement, developing leadership skills, and making a difference. Applications close on April 14th, and you can learn more about the process at surprisingsu.gov/SYC. Thank you. That's all I have.
Appreciate you coming down and giving us a thank you. Madam Clerk, can you do your report tonight?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. The first item on the agenda is consideration and action pertaining to the selection of a vice mayor in accordance with City Code Section 2-41, and then directing the city clerk to administer the oath of office. I would just like to set the parameters for all of you before we begin. Our code states that not later than January 30th of each year, the council selects a member to serve as vice mayor. Any council, except for the mayor, may serve as the vice mayor, even if that council member has served as vice mayor previously. The council member selected will serve as such until the member resigns from office, vacates council, or is replaced by another council member as vice mayor. For nominations, any council member may nominate any council member, including themselves. The council must vote by written ballot, which each of you has by a orange sheet of paper in front of you. The person receiving the majority of the votes will then serve as the vice mayor. In the event that no person receives the majority of votes on the first round, the top two candidates will be considered for a runoff. Voting will repeat until a winner is determined.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'll open the floor to discussions and nominations.
Mayor, I can nominate, Council Wilson.
Okay. No other nominations, no other discussions? Please cast your vote.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, Councilmember Hastings. Would you like to come down as spoken and take your oath, please?
What's that? What kind of oath? I don't know. Oath of office or something. Vice Mayor.
To abide by all official ordinances, policies and procedures of the city of included in our normal seasonal change next time.
Thank you, Mayor. Wow, third time's the charm. Here we are. In all seriousness, I want to thank my colleagues for putting their trust in me to serve as vice mayor. It's truly an honor. I also want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the residents of District 5, including my favorite resident, my wife, who's not here tonight, but she's awesome. I wouldn't be up here without her. And I just want to take this opportunity just to reintroduce myself to surprise residents who, maybe live outside my district. But my name is Jack Hastings. I moved here over 20 years ago, went to high school here, lifeguard with Councilman Haney in the summers, and went to ASU, took Sun Devils, and came back here to teach civics in the Dice Unified School District. And, as your vice mayor, I'll be hard at work supporting Mayor Sartor and the city council. We're going to be hard at work working to fully fund public safety, bring jobs to rise, and keep our taxes low while providing essential services. So I'm excited to get started. Let's get to work. Thank you.
Clerk, you have one more item?
Yes, I do. Item 2 is consideration and action to appoint Sean Matson as chair for the Public Safety Retirement Commission Board for Police and Fire RPS PRS Board.
I just wanted to say a few words about Mr. Matson. He's been a huge advocate for the police in his career. He's a retired Phoenix police officer, and I think his expertise and his professionalism that he's going to bring to this board is just going to do an amazing job for both our police and fire folks. So, with that, I will entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved in second. Please cast your vote.
That's a unanimous yes vote, Mayor. And Mr. Matson, are you here? Come on up. Did you memorize the previous one? Okay, when you're ready, raise your right hand and you repeat after me.
I, Sean Matson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the laws of the state of Arizona,
and the laws of the state of Arizona,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will
I'm going to use my time so I can put the camera.
and defend them against all enemies
and defend them against all enemies
whatsoever,
whatsoever,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
of
the position of
the position of
Public Safety Retirement PSPRS.
Thanks for everybody for
Public
being
Safety
here.
Retirement
Witnessing
PSPRS
that.
Board.
Perfect. And I hereby attest
Hereby attest
to abide by all official ordinances,
to abide by all official ordinances,
policies, and procedures
policies, and procedures
of the City of Surprise,
of the City of Surprise,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my
I'll
ability.
So
explain to
help me
you.
God, or shall I do it first?
So help me God.
Congratulations, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Matson. All right, Madam, so there's 7 items on the consent agenda. Would any council member like to pull an item? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second. All right, it's been moved and seconded. Please cast your vote. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read item number 10.
Item 10, consideration action to approval of the 2025 legislative agenda.
Good evening, Mayor and Vice Mayor Susan, members. Officially say that to you. Tonight I'm here to present the 2025 legislative agenda and a very brief 2024 legislative session recap. So for those residents who may not be aware, Surprise has 3 legislative districts. LD 25, we have Senator Tim Dunn. He transferred from the House to the Senate this session.
House Majority Leader Michael Carbone, and Representative Nick Hubbard. We also have LD 28, which represents about 3,000 residents in Surprise. We have Senate Majority Whip Frank Carroll, Representative David Livingston, and Representative Beverly Pingrove. LD 29, which represents about 55% of Surprise, we have Senate Majority Leader Janae Sham, House Speaker Steve Montaber, and Representative James Taylor. Surprises 2 congressional districts, CD8, which is new Congressman Abe Hamada, and CD9 Congressman Paul Gosar. And then we have 2 U.S. Senators, U.S. Senator Mark Kelly and new Senator Ruben Gallego. So in 2024, it was a much smoother legislative session. It only lasted 160 days versus ending on July 31st, the session before that. The legislature convened on January 8th, 2024 and adjourned on Saturday, June 15th. Arizona was one of 11 states with a divided government. The Republicans held a slight majority in both chambers. During the course of the session, there was 1,663 bills introduced. 330 of those bills were sent to Governor Hobbs for consideration. She signed 258 of the bills into law and vetoed 73. So what's the purpose of the legislative agenda? It's to define your priorities as a body, and then I represent those at the state capitol. It effectively provides me with the boundaries in which I support and oppose legislation. So I have this covered under almost pillars, and I have maintained Surprise's quality of life first, because effectively everything else falls underneath that. So Surprise's quality of life, what do I do at the Capitol? I protect the attributes that make Surprise a desirable community for families and businesses alike. That includes efficient transportation, public safety, safe neighborhoods, open space, and economic prosperity. We support responsible and manageable growth, and I added a new bullet point this year, which is support tourism measures and policies that help maintain Arizona as a destination. I also preserve local funding. We protect existing funding sources that bring revenue to the city of Surprise, which support the quality of life for our residents. Common examples of that is protecting HERF, which is highway user revenue funds, maintaining the vehicular license tax, TPT, state shared income tax. We also support local decision-making authority. We oppose preemption of any of the authority that you have. We feel that our residents elected you to be their voice, and you represent them at the Capitol. Transportation, that's a big one. So continue to seek support to expand our transportation infrastructure in our high growth areas, support regionally coordinated transportation planning, continue to engage regional, state, and federal partners to ensure our residents have reliable and efficient transportation options in and out of our city, and oppose efforts that limit local control in transportation decision-making processes, support federal and state funding for statewide, regional, and local transportation and infrastructure projects, work collaboratively with our federal, state, regional, and other local delegations to secure grant funding for our most impactful infrastructure needs. And if you don't mind, Mayor, I'd like to elaborate on transportation, because we know that's a big issue with our residents, specifically in North Surprise. And unfortunately, we don't get instant gratification when we're working on policy related to transportation. So just to give residents some insights, the improvements that they're seeing at 30360, that did not happen overnight. In 2021, that started with tours. We gave tours to our state legislators. In 2022, we sought a state appropriation that led to a feasibility study. In 2023, that led to the appropriation for the near-term improvements. In 2024, we were able to retain $750,000 of those improvements, and then we received 5 additional improvements as a result. And in 2025 this year, we are seeking an appropriations to expand upon the improvements we're already making and for to advance the design study of another traffic interchange in that area. So it does take time, but we aren't taking our finger off the pulse. It's still happening. There's just a lot of things happening behind the scenes that people don't see. Land use planning, another big one, because we see so much housing legislation. We want to protect your local authority in the land use planning, support efforts that promote orderly and responsible and sustainable growth, oppose efforts that impede growth management, focus on policies that ensure growth pays for itself, and maintain consistency between local code and state law. Public safety. Preserve and enhance the ability of local government to strategically plan for and respond to emergencies. Support legislation that enhances public safety services while maintaining vigilance with the protection of individual rights. Economic development. Support efforts that maintain and enhance our economic competitiveness. Support diversification of economic development tools, which we're seeking to do this session with another tool called tax increment financing, which Arizona doesn't use. Protect local authority on development projects, and support incentives and other mechanisms that would contribute to high-quality private sector growth and job creation. Water and sustainability, another big one. Collaborate with regional and local partners to support legislation that encourages practical water efficiency and conservation measures. Protect surface water and uphold the principles of the Groundwater Management Act. Protect Surprise's investment in safe and reliable water resources and wastewater services, and ensure that we're able to supply assured, safe, sustainable water to our residents long-term. Lastly, protect the mission of Luke Air Force Base, advocate for long-term mission and viability of Luke Air Force Base through local and regional community support, as well as any level of advocacy to protect the base. That concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Councilman Melton.
Thank you, Mayor. The legislature can be involved all play. These fundings that we get for Producer Fund 303 are not guaranteed, but we've got them. And I think you have been responsible for a lot of that. Thank you for keeping your relationships with our lawmakers and keeping that relationship and having them understand the needs that we have surprised needs about 303. So thank you very much. My one question is, we have a new legislator coming in. We have our state senator having a new role, and our representative having a new role as speaker. And you've been able to have conversations with them, and they are apprised of the city's apprised interest in water rights. Do you think they are well educated in that, or they show interest in that?
Absolutely, and it's constantly evolving. And so when you look at last year, for example, and we looked at NRU, which is Natural Resources and Energy Committee. So we had Senator Frank Carroll that was on that, and Senator Sina Kerr. So they were our biggest advocates because they were on those committees. So we do continually update them, and we're getting more and more involved. Mike Willey's been instrumental with that. So that's the plan, is to continue making sure that they're aware of the situation and where we stand on bills.
Jody, I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Jody, just to echo what was already said, you do such an incredible job. Down at the Capitol, it moves so quickly, and I love politics and love policy, and I try to keep up with it, and everything that I think is breaking news, you already knew about it, and there's something else that's already coming down the pipeline. And so I obviously represent District 1, Northwest area. It's large geographically, it has complex challenges, the fact that we have obviously major arterial roadways, but we're also intersected by Grand Avenue, Loop 303, state-controlled roadways, which also present some complex challenges as we navigate those infrastructure issues. And your relationships down at the Capitol, your ability to stay engaged with that area and really convey the frustration and the pain that we're feeling down to our legislators is something that I'm incredibly grateful for. We have a great opportunity as the city council, the lowest part of government, to really focus on those kitchen table issues, the stuff that folks talk about when they're sitting down with their families, traffic, it's public safety, it's this growth is happening all around me. What are we doing to manage that growth? Folks have families, they have practices, jobs, so they can't be down at the Capitol. Someone like me who tries to stay engaged still is relying on you to really keep me updated. And so we are so lucky to have a fierce advocate down at the Capitol. when I first took office a few years ago, and I appreciate you kind of showing the history of, the best way to see where we're going is to see where we've been. And I said, we're gonna focus on the two ways. And in the past, it was, hey, this is a state-controlled roadway, there's a lot of roads, it's all happening, we just have to bring it there. And myself, along with our city manager, you, and incredible staff, and my colleagues up here, we said, no, like, we're gonna do something more than that. So we decided to focus on the two ways. The roadways that aren't under our control, which are those major roadways I mentioned, we said we were gonna advocate. And what does that exactly mean? I asked residents, I was like, what do you mean advocate? Are we just gonna beg? No, we're strategic, we're aggressive, and we're pinpointing issues that we can really make a difference on. And I always say, it's really easy to point out a problem, it's hard to bring a solution. And not only, and this is conjunction, we have a great group of engaged residents who are willing to put in the work to advocate alongside us. I'm extremely grateful for them. But to not only identify these problems and these challenges we're facing, but also, hey, here's some solutions. And how do we secure that funding and that planning? And we're seeing that with the major improvements. And I'm not going to bore my colleagues, but there's so many improvements that we've accomplished that have really made a big impact in that area. And then also taking action on those roadways that are under our control. But that doesn't happen without
but I'm not
able
gonna,
to help us
I'm not gonna
leverage
read
those
that because I left it over there
relationships
on the
to pass
table.
that legislation to
So they
secure
probably
that
read
funding
it.
so we can keep
But I
heading
got
in the
something
right
else in
direction.
mind.
So we made a lot of progress on those short-term improvements. I always tell folks this isn't a Band-Aid. It's just how can we provide relief in the interim while we pursue those long-term solutions. And I look forward to working with you not only this session as well as mayor and the rest of the council as we continue to push forward on those objectives that we have for this legislative session, but also how can we identify other opportunities for us to improve the quality of life for residents. So seriously, thank you so much for the work you do. You are invaluable down there, and so the city of Surprise is extremely lucky to have you. That's all I have. Thank you.
I just really need a cigarette.
Thank you, Mayor. Jody, I'm not gonna jump on the bandwagon, you know, because we all know how good you
Before or
are.
after sex?
You mentioned tips for like 1 second and being familiar with those. I know what those are, but I guess a lot of people don't know what they are, and so they don't think they're tagged image file formats like JPEGs. Can you, in 60 seconds, explain to everybody what a tax increment financing is and how it really here, because normally those are geographically designated to like a lighted area or something, and how would it apply to Springs?
Well, it would provide an
Yeah,
incentive
Tuck's a
for
badass.
businesses to move here where they're able to effectively finance most of the time it's
Yeah,
the
how you doing with that?
infrastructure. I'm not a TIF expert, that's Janine.
That's
Yeah. It's actually not our legislation, it's the city of Tempe's legislation that we're supporting, so we'll get more businesses here because we're losing a lot of businesses to Texas and Nevada because they're able to utilize TIF as a tool for these businesses to come here where we're not able to use them. Is that sufficient?
Well, I mean, I don't want to get to all the details of it, but yeah, normally it's, I mean, we don't seem to be having that much of a problem attracting things, so I guess I want to just know a little bit more about what that's going to cost us in the long run, but that's a future discussion that we would have just started to talk about, because Arizona obviously does not do tax financing.
We do, and Councilman Greenberg, the city of Surprise had a resolution that became a bill years and years ago, I think it was 2017, and it was known as EDRA, which was the Economic Development Reimbursement Authority, very similar to what TIF is, and we never had any momentum at the legislature for that. We lost the sponsor there, so I don't anticipate given this legislative composition that that's going to be changing this session.
Okay, thanks.
That's okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Jody. I mean, you did such a great job. I mean, you have to manage, how many legislators are there? Like 30, 90 legislators, different personalities, different political parties.
Block the
I mean,
comments
those watching
What?
think
for
we're
their live
political.
stream.
It's a whole different level down there.
You know what I mean? I wonder if
thank you for
people
all
are
your work.
gonna
It's
hear
great to have
what's
somebody
gonna be
who's
said
looking out
right
for
now, you know?
Surprise interest in the interest of our residents. So many times
When do the-
I've
When
tried to
people
get myself
get to go up there and speak their thing,
I have decent
you know what I'm
relationships with
saying?
a few of them.
Yeah.
But it's just so much easier if I just let you take
If they
the
don't
reins
like a
and go
question,
down
they're
there
gonna
and
turn
meet
it
me.
off or,
But we just trust you to do your job, and thank you so much.
I don't know, I've never been to one.
Thank you, Mayor. Jody, thanks for everything on this. In the past few years, the zoning law has been a battle every year. Do you anticipate that being forefront again?
Yes. well, there's several housing bills that have already been dropped. So there's a bill I'm forgetting, I don't have the bill numbers with me, but one is lovingly referred to as the Yigby bill, which is Scott's backyard. So it's effectively by right zoning on land owned by religious institutions. So it's a way to build higher density multifamily on religious owned land. So that's one of the bills that has been dropped. And then the other one is effectively the same exact starter home bill that was vetoed last year by Governor Hobbs, which is another by right zoning type of stuff. So we formed a stakeholder group with several of our larger cities. We take a proactive role on that, with many thanks to Lloyd and Tiffany, where we're trying to take a proactive approach with our legislators rather than a reactive approach with some of the terrible housing legislation that we've seen. So we're hoping that that'll gain a little bit more momentum at the Capitol this year. Maybe that would be something that can help address the housing issue, but also maintain your local control and responsible growth.
Okay, because I appreciate it, because never hear people in this area think they know this area better than we do, that have never even been here. So I appreciate everything, because we're always complaining and you figure it out. So I appreciate it, thank you.
No problem.
Jody, I just wanted to say thanks as well. I feel my colleagues up here, as soon as I got elected, I started meeting with other elected officials, and you played a big part of that. And every single one of them sung your praise. Every other government agency like MAG, I met with them, they sung your praise. And so I think we're extremely lucky to have you. There's no doubt in my mind that your relentless effort and just dedication to the surprise pays dividends for our residents, and it improves our lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
With nothing else, no other requests to speak, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the 2025 legislative agenda as presented.
Second. Moved and second, please cast your vote. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read item 11.
Presentation and discussion pertaining to FY 2024 and FY 2025 City Auditor Department report. And each of you should have a presentation copy at your spaces.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. Today I have two audit reports I'm going to present to you. These reports are from areas which we've never audited before. This is our first time reviewing these two areas. The first one is going to be the travel reimbursement audit report. Our primary goal here was to determine whether the city had adequate controls and governance processes over the city's reimbursement process. For the areas that we reviewed a year and a half worth of activity. The average amount of travel reimbursement for employees was about $11,000 per month. The AP Division of Finance is the primary oversight for the reimbursement of travel reimbursement processes. We examined, there were 707 transactions. We audited approximately 10% of those transactions. And out of that, we determined that we had some strong areas of opportunities that we recommended, which included ensuring that the claim reimbursements were reimbursed for the correct amount. There was independent verification of those transactions. We also recommended a review of the travel policy to update some of those policies to ensure that management's expectations were being met. And in addition to that, to ensure that the travel reimbursement claims have proper final approval. There were a total of 6 audit recommendations that we made. They were all concurred with by the department, and management action plans have been implemented. The next area that we reviewed is the City Court Compliance Assistance Program audit. This is our first time again in this particular area. We wanted to determine if our CAP program, our processes and procedures were in compliance with the CAP Court Handbook and the Arizona Revised Statutes. Now, during the background, we determined that the City Court of Surprise has implemented the CAP program back in 2019. Since then, the court has processed over 7 million in outstanding tax interceptions and $371.5 million in collections. During our our audit, we identified some opportunities for improvements. Our first opportunity of improvement was related to how personal identifiable information is used in training materials. We recommend that it be removed from training materials. We also recommend that they work with the Arizona Supreme Court and the Administration Office of the Courts to resolve a issue that they have with their user access report. And the final recommendation was related to training materials to identify what is required and what's the expectations with some of the forms that they use as they're administrating the program. Overall, there were 8 recommendations. 7 of those recommendations were concurred with, and 1 was partially concurred with. The departments have created action plans to address the risk, and they're currently working on those action plans. And that's it. Are there any questions?
King George said he was following this thing. He needs coffee.
Who needs coffee?
King George.
So,
He's following the sleepover thing.
the client will make an arrangement, a payment arrangement with the court to cover the fines that they cannot pay for. If that payment plan doesn't, they don't stick with that payment plan, the court has the option to go and collect any taxes that they are refunds that they may get, and the court can in session take those refunds to cover those fees.
Just want to say thank you for what you do for their city. I know there's a lot of residents probably don't know that you're an appointed official, completely independent of the city. Your audit's completely independent. Is that right?
Correct.
And so I think it's important that we have you and your role and your expertise to make sure that we're doing the things in the city right as far as policies and procedures. So I know it's not an easy job when the auditor comes around. People, their blood pressure goes up, but I think for the city, it's an opportunity to learn and grow and learn how to do things better. So I really appreciate your role in keeping the city running. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item 12, consideration and action pertaining to the authorization of the assignment of the Circle City Water Company, LLC, Central Arizona Project Municipal and Industrial Water Entitlement to the City of Surprise, thereby terminating the Circle City Water Company, LLC, Central Arizona Project Water Service subcontract. Resolution number 2025-12.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. As the clerk mentioned, this item and the next item are associated with Central Arizona Project contract modifications associated with the city's acquisition of Circle City Water Company. So this is really the culmination of an effort that was initiated back in 2009. And so before we get into the specifics of the contract modifications, I'd like to provide a bit of background for context about Circle City Water Company, some of the high points of the timeline, and then we'll talk about the contract modifications specifically. So the acquisition of Circle City Water Company is not the acquisition of Circle City. This is not associated with an annexation case. Circle City is located about 15 miles northwest of where we stand. They have about 466 platted lots, about 174 lots left to develop, and about 292 current water customers being served by Circle City Water. The map on the right there identifies the water providers that exist within the city's
I just care about the battery on this.
I'll show you here. So this area right here is where Circle City is. It's reflected in this triangle. And this area up here.
This battery's good.
Water service area. Circle City currently uses about 23 million gallons per day, or per year. To put that in context, the city of Surprise water service area currently uses that much water in about 2.5 years. So this was again identified, and our city council approved 2009 integrated water master plan as a strategic initiative to acquire resources to serve our growing population and our growing economy. And so with the acquisition comes 3,932 acre-feet of Colorado River water, which necessitates the need to modify those CAP contracts.
I think so.
So here's a quick timeline. As I mentioned, we started this effort in 2009. One of the high points of this was in 2018. Our voters approved by overwhelming support to acquire Circle City Water Company. It was over 80% approval. This has gone on for quite some time because it has literally touched every level of the Arizona court system.
We going?
And it has required
Just
the
gonna
approval
call the
of
audience is
many
next.
regulatory agencies that are in the water business. And so that really brings us here tonight to consider the CAP contract modifications. And while these two slides kind of summed up, what we've been working on and why we haven't been talking about it publicly for a long time. Internally within the department and with many of our other department partners, we've been preparing operationally to take this over. And one of the biggest preparation points has been financial preparation. So in 2018, when we did the vote to the public, we made a promise that we would not use ratepayer money or taxpayer money for this acquisition. And off to the right there, that white box that identifies the questions within the pamphlet for voters. But in 2018, we included the Circle City acquisition within our infrastructure improvement plan that drives our development impact fee. So with our water resource impact fee, we're able to complete the purchase of the $15 million without any sort of creative financing or doing anything else. So although we would have liked to close on this much sooner, this time has allowed us to save up and have the cash necessary within that P project there, 71260. From an ongoing basis, the operations and maintenance is estimated to be about $72,000 per year, and the carrying cost of the ownership costs associated with the Central Arizona Project Water is going to be about $1.4 million per year. So back to operational preparedness.
Surprise, Arizona.
We conducted a sanitary survey. That's really a look at all of the infrastructure within Circle City Water Company to ensure that we wouldn't be taking over a system that's in violation of any rules or laws, and really just an overall condition assessment. And that's made way to the establishment of the Circle City Enhancements Capital Project. We intend to immediately make cyber and physical security upgrades, implement backup generator for redundancy, have the ability to remotely monitor it and control it, and then make distribution system improvements as well. We intend to begin shadowing their current operator immediately, so we kind of get a lay of the land before we actually get the keys. And we intend to close on this if things continue the way they are by July 1st. So next steps, we're going to be coming back to this council in a couple of meetings to talk about rate setting. The Circle City Water Company has not had a rate adjustment since 1988, and we're going to be very sensitive to that. So we'll be coming back with some different recommendations and options. There may be a need to update the stipulated condemnation agreement that we have with Circle City Water Company, but we're trying to avoid that. We'll be back to this council in May for our typical water resources update. That's the one where we usually bring our partners at Central Arizona Project. And again, we're hoping to commence operation and have everything behind us by July 1st of this year. So again, getting back to the items that we're taking action on tonight, the first one that the clerk read is associated with the assignment and termination of Circle City's current contract with Central Arizona Project. So that agreement is just simply stating that this volume of water is going to be going to Surprise. And then the next item that the clerk will read is our acknowledgement through a modification of our existing contract to absorb that volume. So that'll bring our total Colorado River allocation from 10,249 up to 14,181 acres. So I'll pause there for any questions, and then once we discuss it, we can have the clerk read the next item.
Councilman Judd.
Thank you, Mayor. Mike, this is fantastic. This is a great presentation. This has been a long road, and you've been all over the map trying to get this stuff pushed through. You said residents there's a little less than 200 residents out there, or water users out there, and their rates haven't changed since the 80s.
Correct.
And I think you mentioned that they're using some equipment that hasn't been updated probably since the 80s.
That's correct.
We're frequently seeing outages and other problems with their water. What kind of problems are we inheriting? Not specific kind of problems we're inheriting, but what's it going to cost to get these guys up so that we can stay in compliance, maybe automate some things?
Sure. So this capital project, P71530, we budgeted about $900,000. The thing that the ACC consistently hears, the ACC regulates Circle City Water Company today, is just the lack of redundancy. So during monsoon season, they lose power, the well goes down, the booster pumps go down. And so we immediately want to take better care of these folks, even though they're not our residents technically, they're going to be our customers. And really ensuring that the water is safe. So if we're going to be the provider, we want to make sure that we're proud of the brand that we're serving.
And I mean, 40 years, 30 some odd years, almost 40 years since the rate change. I mean, how steep are we looking to get those guys caught up? I mean, because this is going to be painful for them.
Yeah, so candidly, if we were to bring the Circle City ratepayers directly up to what the City of Surprise ratepayers are paying, it'd be about a 42% increase monthly. And so that's why we're being sensitive and working with Andrea and her team to figure out a strategy to bring them up to, over time. So that's really the intent.
Okay, so slow increments as we improve the service, and hopefully they stop seeing outages. I appreciate it. Having to spend a little bit, a couple extra dollars a month, we're talking probably.
Exactly.
Whatever works out to be $5, $10 a month, but always have water and always have clean water, safe water. All right, thank you, Mike.
And Mr. Blue, you said you're going to come back with that, what Councilman Joe was talking about as far as the increases for us to discuss and talk about.
Yeah, so the timeline here, based on statute, we've got to have some time associated with establishing rates. So the intent right now is to come back in April. We're working on various scenarios and options right now, and then potentially take action on setting the rates in mid-June in time for us to take over the system in July.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Bell.
Anyway, guys, I've been following this for so many years. I'm so excited that I'm here on City Council. I finally get to vote on this. It's a great acquisition, and throughout this entire episode, the City of Surprise and you, Mr. Goulet, have been class acts, sensitive to the Circle City ratepayers, you've been sensitive and understanding to the litigators. And now that it's all said and done, I'm really proud of Surprise and how we got through here, how we planned smart. We carried it. We had a long struggle to get here, and we were class acts the entire way. And I really appreciate your professionalism and leadership, Michael. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. So it's an interesting dynamic, right? I mean, we're taking over this area of water, but we're not annexing the residents, which is definitely, I mean, not something I've heard of us doing before. I'm definitely supportive. I think this is a good move for the city. Definitely much with that. But at the same time, this is one of those interesting things. So if we're raising fees, it's not going to be on Surprise residents. It's going to be on Circle City residents. So this is one of those few times where I'm not opposed to that necessarily, because if we were to not raise the rates, then Surprise taxpayers would be subsidizing those repairs that need to happen. So I think it's important that that we're reasonable and that we're fair, because there isn't really a lot of accountability for them, right? Because like here, if we make a bad decision or we raise something, like we're held accountable elections, this is a little different. So we definitely want to be reasonable, but at the same time, I think that those repairs and upkeep that has to happen needs to pay for itself, and that's the plan, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
So, Mr. Goulet, I had a couple of questions. We talk about our water portfolio and long-term. What does this acquisition mean in that sense? What does it mean for the City of Surprise and our water portfolio in the future?
So from a Colorado River supply perspective, this acquisition or contract modification represents a 40% increase in Colorado River water, and then a 20% increase across our entire portfolio. So it's pretty significant.
And so in 2009, you started this process. What was the cost of, say, $15 million back in 2009 to acquire this?
Exactly. So we started to negotiate that acquisition price in about the 2014 timeline.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we're fortunate to have good partners in Circle City Water Company that they've held strong to that number till today.
So if we tried to acquire that amount of acre feet per water in today's dollars, what do you think that would cost us?
So Queen Creek just acquired 2,000 acre feet of Colorado River water
Yes,
for
you know which
$24
song
million.
I'm talking about,
So
right?
this is nearly 4,000 acre feet, so probably 50 something.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of piggyback on what Councilman Melton said, but just your leadership and expertise in leading the water resource management department is just incredible. And our city is in a great position because of you and your entire team. So I just want to say thank you. This is a huge thing for you guys. Okay.
I move to approve resolution 2025-12.
Seconded.
The move and seconded. Please cast your vote.
Absolutely.
That's a unanimous yes vote, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk, please read item 13.
Consideration and action pertaining to the authorization of amendment number 1 to subcontract number 07FX30W0505 among the United States, the Central Arizona Water Conservation District, and the City of Sakai, resolution number 2025-11.
I move to approve resolution 2025-11.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Please cast your vote.
That's a unanimous yes vote, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please read item 14.
Consideration and action to approve an addendum to the real estate purchase contract for Cedar Valley and 185th Avenue 2 LLC and Arizona Limited Liability Company for approximately 27 acres of property located near 185th Avenue and Deer Valley Road.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. How you doing tonight? I'm coming before you again to talk about an item we discussed with you for approval on the 3rd of December, which was a land acquisition up north. And we have a few new members on the council. I'm not going to go through the entire presentation we have on the 3rd, but I do have a few highlights.
Sounds like
Before I get to that, though, I wanted to discuss with you what we're here to talk about tonight. As you can see here on the 3rd, this body did approve us to move forward to engage in a purchase contract for approximately 30 acres of land up north. Tonight, we're before you to have an amendment approved. This amendment is going to move the closed escrow up from the June timeframe to February the 7th. It's going to remove an easement that was an issue that we were discussing with legal at length about, so that's good news for us. And it also updates the signer to the new mayor, Mayor Sartor. So that's what we're here to talk about tonight. I'll give you a few of the highlights here. Again, this is the overall site, 30 acres, 5 acres right out of the gate. We're going to dedicate to build Fire Station 310. We hope to be in design on that here in the next, we'll call it 10 to 12 months. Public Safety Master Plan, we're also engaging in that as we speak, working with procurement this week, as a matter of fact, to secure the contract with them. That plan will also help us plan out the entire site here before you. And then we're also working with our partners in Public Works, Water, Solid Waste, looking at what their needs may be up in the Northwest. Like I said, this is a long-range planning project. This project, I mean, if we hit the ground running, I think it would take us, I'll spit out a number 10 to 15 years maybe to get it all done. So this is just the first step in that. Important to note that Andrew would be upset with me if I didn't point this out, but a lot of these future projects are not currently funded. That's the stuff we're going to be working on in the coming years to figure out how we're going to pay for that. Again, Fire Station 310 is a bond-funded project. There's your schedule designed to begin in 26, FY26, construction to start 27, and hopefully kind of turning the lights on in there in that building in FY28. That station there will serve that Copper Canyon North, and then hopefully when Deer Valley connects in the future, future years out, that will also help us get to the areas far west Surprise. So if you guys have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
Councilman
Thank you, Mayor. Chief, I know we talked earlier just with legislative priorities and smart growth, proactive planning, and public safety, and this is a prime example. Obviously, this bond went to the voters. I think they approved it, both residents of North Surprise and South Surprise. If you live not in District 1, but let's say in a district more south of that, how would an addition to the station into this system impact their fire station in their neighborhood?
Yeah, Councilman Haney.
I'm getting.
Apologize, Vice Mayor. Councilman Haney, Mayor, that's a great question, and that we do feel that a lot at, community meetings and stuff, so I would love to answer that for you. What happens when we have a call there right now? Resources from other areas have to go head up to that area. We're about to open the new station in Councilman Duffy's area, so if something happened up north, and it likely will before the station opens, resources have to kind of move to the north. That depletes us in the far south portions of the city. So what we're doing, what that causes up there is some delayed response times there, and then also it impacts us in the areas that they have to move. And so by adding that station up north, what that will do for the folks down south will ensure that their resources are more reliable, if you will. They'll be available for those calls when they happen in their area. Now, a large call, obviously, resources deploy and we go mitigate. But, normal operating, that will definitely enhance the reliability for those stations down south.
And speaking of station, I think we've talked about it before, but we've got some new additions. This station, how is it going to go? What kind of apparatus can we expect to be housed on this station?
Yeah, it's a great question. So as you guys know, it takes us almost 3 years now to get a piece of apparatus from the time we order it, from the time we cut the PO to delivery. Fire Station 309, as a matter of fact, we just got a picture. It's coming off the line in about 2 weeks. The timing is close, but we ordered that truck about a month before we really got to work on the fire station. So it does take us a long time. Right now, what we have set up in the project is to buy the second ladder truck that will go in service in the city. It is important to note, though, that we're not certain if that truck will go into that station when it goes on the road. So what I mean by that is if we move that resource up to, say, 304 north of Grand, that engine that's at that station now would then move into the new station. We would just maybe shuffle those resources around. But this project does carry funding to purchase the second ladder truck for the city, which is a huge enhancement for us.
Okay, so there'll be an owl hazard unit responding out there with
Definitely.
2 EMTs, 2 paramedics that are also firefighters that are in a hot zone. Because obviously, especially in that northwest area, sometimes if you have a large incident, your resources are coming from all different directions. It may be a little more extended response time. So this will really positively impact those residents as far as service delivery goes.
Yes, sir, definitely. The other thing to point out, as we've talked about, I think a little bit, you guys have 2 kind of models. Neighborhood station, a little smaller. Takes an engine, can take up to 2 engines in a rescue or an ambulance. That's what this is called out for. We have our district stations, they're a little larger. They can take up to 3 apparatus, a rescue, and a battalion chief. This would be a neighborhood style stations, 4 bays. We anticipate probably moving some brush resources into there, so water tankers, water tenders, brush trucks, that's kind of our urban interface area out there. So, once this building is in design, we'll talk to operations chief back there, Deputy Chief Rivera and his team, see what we think is best to move the resources and deploy them to the proper stations.
And once the station's built, it'll be ready to go to have units respond. It's not going to be the station's built, now we're playing catch up with the resources.
That's right. As a matter of fact, we're going to start hiring for that fire station here this summer. That's our goal. We go in phases. We try to hire in smaller groups. So the 3-year build-up to open in the door. That's exactly what we did for the fire station in Councilman Duffy's area. It worked really well. Partnership again with finance and budget. And we hope to continue to do that.
And Chief, when you say you're hiring, what's the benefits of starting to hire now, even though the station's not built?
Yeah, again, great question. So it probably takes Chief Worrell back there. Chief's here tonight. Chief Worrell manages most of our recruitments for us, and he would tell you, we typically start every year applications in August, maybe May, intent to recruit. We don't have a hiring list on the chief's desk until November, December timeframe, and then we're hurrying to try to get people into January, February academy. So what we're trying to do is get in front of all of that. So we start the hiring process a little early, bring folks on board. Sometimes they don't make it through the academy. Sometimes things happen in their background. Whatever it is, we're relieving that pressure right before it's time to go live and getting these folks on board. The other thing we're doing is training them. It takes us about a year once they get out of the academy, 10 months, 9 to 10 months on the road, giving them the time. We're trying to make sure we have seasoned folks that are going to be operating out of these buildings when we turn the lights on. And the last thing I'll tell you what it does, it relieves a little bit of retirement pressure at the end. Right now, we're starting to see retirement set in our department Not something we've been used to, but it's happening now. And so you can see if you hire 20 people at once, they're all gonna be eligible to leave 20, 25 years later. That's a really hard cycle to break later on. So we're trying to space that out and kind of relieve some pressure, if you will, to not only the fire department, but the public department, human resources, everyone that's involved with that.
And then, sorry, I have one more question. So obviously, getting us through the academy and then also the probationary kind of training and we're alleviating that pressure and trying to rush them out in the field. But then we also mentioned that we'll have paramedics on these trucks. How long does paramedic school take and what does that look like?
So that's another great question. It's about a 1-year commitment. From the time that we put an intent out in the organization to see who's interested, they have to go through a minor skills assessment to make sure that they are can function as a basic EMT before we send them to paramedic school. Once we send them 8 to 10 months, depending on the program. I will have you know that is resilience from a resiliency standpoint. We know that we have to train a lot of paramedics. I know you know this, but a lot of the other departments in town are all kind of looking at, hey, we don't have enough medics or we don't have the capacity to train the need that we have. So surprise Chief Suburbi, he's not here tonight, but if he was, he would be able to tell you this in the back. But for 1.5 years, he's been working on developing our own medic program here so that Surprise Fire can train its own paramedics, because it is tough to rely on the community colleges or the city of Phoenix, for example. Their schedules change. Sometimes it doesn't line up with us. So in order for us to build our own resource and take care of our community here, we're working really hard to get that done. I thought it would be easier to do, and it's a little more challenging, but we're working through it.
Thank you. I appreciate the proactiveness. I get this question quite a bit from residents of, they see all the growth around them and they're concerned, if I call 911, am I, one, going to get someone to respond in a timely fashion, but who am I getting? I think a lot of folks don't understand all that goes into fully staffing a fire truck. I can tell you, my family didn't even realize that in the valley here, each fire truck has 2 EMTs and 2 paramedics. So if the heart stops, we're gonna get a fire truck with folks that are able to do those interventions to hopefully save your life. And so I really appreciate the proactive planning, not only with the station, but also making sure that the station's only as good as the people in it. And so making sure we're having some highly trained individuals that are ready to respond to those neighborhoods when the station's up and running. So I'm really excited about this. And I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. It seems like Councilman Haney's pretty up to speed with this type of information. I don't know how. He could, yeah, I mean, yeah, just a lot of good TV shows. Yeah, I just want to reiterate one point. When we were going out to the bond presentations, one of my residents, the residents that I represent, asked me like, well, why should I vote for this? This is all like a surprise, and we have these situations, too, when schools go out and, I mean, the growth right now is happening on the surprise. And I just told him, look, it's nice, I get it, we have a fire station right across, just on Greenway and Parkview, but you want that fire truck to stay nearby, because with the automatic aid system, it's a great system, but there's nothing to stop, a truck from 302 going up to the surprise, and then someone from Sunset Grand who, fell and couldn't get up, and now I'm not saying but obviously we're always ready, but there is a limit, right? There is a limit. We only have so many people and so many trucks. We just want to make sure that we obviously have the resources that we need. So I'd be interested to see once this fire truck or this fire station goes into service down the road. I just feel a little bit, but how response times shift.
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I told you I knew what a good response time was, but just to see, I'm sure we can go to Councilman Hayes that, but just to see what it looks like, and so we can actually have the data and have the numbers and say, okay, look, this is why we're doing it. This is the standard. This is where we're at, and this is what we're worrying about in the future.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely, Vice Mayor. And again, when Station 9 opens, we should be able to tell Councilman Duffy how many calls the station will open on opening day, because we've been tracking for, I'm gonna look at Chief Sperlin, but I think we've been tracking inside the area how many calls per day would go to that truck if it were in service. So we'll research that and provide that to you, but also be able to show you a little bit of what response times are to the high school out there. We're right down the street from them. So Same thing up north too, and also maybe give you some reliability data for the stations in your own neighborhoods right now.
Absolutely, and that just all goes back to the residents, they're the ones who voted to approve this, they're the ones, putting all the property taxes and investing in Surprise. And so we just want to show them that their money's well worth it, and that we know what you're doing. We can show everybody this new that we got it all buttoned up, we got it all figured out. You guys are awesome, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again.
Chief, this is strategic, it's long-term, it's, going in those places that we're growing north and west. This is huge, so thank you for your leadership on this and your entire team, the entire city of Surprise. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I can do it. I move to approve the addendum to the purchase contract for 27 acres of property located near 185th Avenue and Deer Valley Road.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Please cast your vote. She was Councilman Judd.
That's the unanimous vote, ma'am.
Okay. I will now conduct a call to the public. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to address the council on non-agenda items?
Yes, Mayor, I have 6 requests to speak. As I call you back, please remember to state your name and the city that you live in when you get to the podium. First, I have James Ellis.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is James Ellis. I live in Surprise off of Waddell and 175th Avenue. I'm going to bring up a couple of items that might be able to be put on the agenda in the future. The fire chief spoke really well about response times, the new station 310. Some of my concerns living in the south part of the city is the public safety responses to the new Desert Diamond White Tanks Casino surrounding areas. So I'm going to kind of address the elephant in the room. I've been hearing a lot of different things about this situation. Does the city of Surprise have a contract to provide public safety responses to the reservation casino that's outside our city limits? Is it a verbal agreement or a written agreement? If we do, how much is the city being compensated by the reservation for these public safety services, if any? Can the city council make this public regarding our police and fire service responses and any potential contracts between the two parties? Just recently, I had noticed Surprise police units in and around the casino since its grand opening last month, along with an all-hazards Surprise fire department unit just days ago responding to a vehicle accident just outside the casino property. My concern is response times will increase above the NFPA standards of 5 minutes and 20 seconds in the southern parts of our city under the automatic gate agreement, even with the new fire station 309 going into service later this year. As we see future expansion of the Desert Diamond White Tanks Casino with a hotel and conference center and continued annexation of the city of Glendale to our southern border will indeed increase our call demand for fire responses. That's why I'm suggesting funding for a medical response unit, an MR unit they call it. It's a full ALS staffing unit that can help lower response times in the southern parts of the city and keeping all hazard response units responding more within our city limits instead. An MR unit is staffed by 4 firefighters with 2 paramedics, and they can respond to any medical emergency, including cardiac arrest, to trauma calls. Excuse me. It can also be utilized for additional manpower on any fire ground call, and the cost for the apparatus of this type is a fraction of the cost of a traditional fire engine. This could respond to the casino and surrounding areas for any medical emergency, excuse me, under the automatic gate agreement. And the additional funding could be paid through the reservation casino if properly negotiated between both parties, saving the city of Surprise and the taxpayers a significant amount of money for both the fire and police department. So basically, in summary, I do support, fire responses to the casino. As long as it doesn't affect our city residents, and if we can get the funding through the casino to pay for that, I'm all for it. So thank you.
Mr. Wing-Roth, do you deal with Mr. Ellis and answer some of his questions?
Yes, Mayor. In fact, Chief Espy's ready to do that right now. He has that information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I have Paula Anderson.
Hi, I'm Paula Anderson. I live by myself. I don't want to give my streets. That's a little spooky. But anyhow, a while ago, I did pose an online question about specific language used in our public meeting rules. but I'm here today to urge some corrective language. As of 3:30 today, the wording of those rules hasn't been updated. I know this isn't as important to as fire safety and water, but it is important. I don't want to see more lawsuits and bad publicity coming down. So anyhow, hopefully I won't bore you all. Quick, super fast history lesson. Jump back 100 years. Basically, there is a Supreme Court ruling in 1925. It's Gitlow versus New York. State law must be consistent with the First Amendment and not violate freedom of speech. And it basically says Congress shall make no rule that actually applies to all levels of government, not just federal, state, boils down to all of us. Then moving fast forwarding to 1971. It's really the often quoted by certain people, the Supreme Court case that Cohen versus California. You might have heard that or read some of that on some of those Facebook posts. That basically says speech, even profane, offensive speech. Guess what? It's protected. Okay? Fast forward another few years to 1973. This is the case of Miller versus California. To restrict speech, there are some things we can restrict. One of those things is being obscene, but to be obscene speech, there are very, very narrow criteria. And I can share those later if anyone wants those. So as of 3:30 today, our public meeting rules still say, blah, 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 section 5, a civil decorum will be expected of all speakers. Blah, 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 prohibited, disruptive behavior includes, but is not limited to threats, profanity, words likely to provoke immediate combat, blah, blah, blah. You've got to change that. Okay, words matter. Okay, somebody's gonna come up here and say a profane word, and if you guys get mad or do something or call a police chief, I would rather see our money go towards fire and more water instead of paying off lawsuits. Thank you very much.
Next, I have John Goodnow.
Evening. Some new faces. It's refreshing. So, I came here tonight a little late. I wanted to come after the meeting last time, and I did. But I gotta tell you guys, doing government's not that hard, right? You gotta honor your oath and not be a dick. I mean, that's really the basic rules of government. And I saw some good change after what happened with Rebecca Massey. I really did. It was some good new mayor, new city attorney coming in. So we got some good things. And then all of a sudden a video leaked from the chief of police, right? And I've got it queued up here, and I'm not gonna quote him, I'd rather just use his own words. But essentially what the chief is saying is all crazy.
Here to get this out real quick. You know, what happened last week in a council meeting resulted in what I think everybody in the world is calling an illegal arrest and a violation of someone's First Amendment rights. That's clearly not what we're about, and that is not what happened.
That's literally what happened, right? So what the chief just told us was that the entire world was wrong. What we witnessed with our lying eyes was wrong. I'm a root cause guy. My son was threatened to be shot and killed here in the state of Arizona in 2019. School didn't say anything to the police or the parents. I took action. I got the law here changed, right? 15-541 and 330-312, right? Now, I got it mandated where the schools have to say something if there's a threat of violence in schools. So I have a challenge to you guys. How about we make constitutional training mandatory for the police? The police aren't going to do it themselves. So the only way that that's going to happen is it's going to come from this council. And this council is going to have to mandate that the police officers who serve the public understand the Constitution that they took an oath to serve. We saw 2 oaths being taken here. What are the very first things that you swear that oath to? It's the Constitution. What's the very first law in the Constitution? It's the First Amendment. And if every one of your police officers can't recall the 5 protections codified in the First Amendment right off the top of their head, what are they doing with the batting gun? If they can't, if they don't know what our freedoms are, how in the world can they protect them? And the chief put that on full display when he leaked the video to the world that we're all wrong and we didn't see what we saw. Take care of it, City Council. I challenge you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Wise words.
This next form does not have a last name, so Michelle.
That would be me. Good evening, infidels and fellow Constitution lovers. I was gonna read my statement today, but I accidentally left it out where people could read it. And I felt that it was no longer a secure statement to read to you guys. So, today we're gonna talk about the Constitution, the First Amendment specifically. Do you guys know there's 5 elements to the Constitution? Freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, freedom to redress. Do you guys know any of the other ones? All right. So freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, freedom of press, freedom to redress our government, and there's one more. Freedom of religion. Oh, yes. Well, you guys don't have to ask to go to church, do you? I wouldn't ask to go to church because that's my First Amendment right? Well, so it's free speech. So it's free press. So I'm going to sing a song for you guys. I hope you like it. I've been singing it for about 20 years. Fuck shit, fuck, fuck, fuck. Fuck shit, fuck shit, fuck, fuck, fuck. Yes. Fuck shit, fuck, fuck, fuck. Woohoo! Fuck shit, fuck, fuck, fuck. So now I see that you guys finally respect the First Amendment. Good job, guys.
Good job.
I believe this first name is Grande.
Connie Johnson.
Huh?
Connie Johnson.
Grande Johnson.
Good evening, Your Majesty. Oh, shit. Good evening, Your Majesties, and thank you for gracing us with your presence this evening, and thank you for allowing me to address you. I was actually going to say something along the lines of that, what that woman just said, but it's already been done, and I don't think I need to really be just overly obnoxious. But I think that sometimes points need to be made, right? And I'm glad that you guys are starting to understand. What I do want to say, though, is that I'm glad that there's a new mayor here. I appreciate what you're doing, Kevin. Thank you. And I guess there's a new city attorney coming as well. But I really think that the police chief either needs to do the right thing and resign and walk away, or that you all need to do something. Mistakes happen. We all make them. And I think that what happened to Rebecca came out of, I would even say, I'm even going to dare to say maybe even innocent ignorance. People not necessarily meaning to do something wrong. I don't know, it was pretty over the top. But mistakes happen. But when the police chief doubled down and tripled down on that mistake and encouraged his other officers to continue to do the same thing that was done before, and encouraged his officers to pat the cop on the back who violated someone's constitutional rights, again, mistakes happen. But man, when you double and triple down on it like that, chief, he's got to go. And I think that you should do the right thing for your community and just leave on your own. That's all I have. Thank you all so much.
Here, here.
Thank you.
second that.
And this is the final registered speaker, Mayor Alex West.
Thank you. 175th and Waddell, Duffy's District. Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, our republic is strong and democracy lives on. We have come to a new direction in our country. And listening to the speech given by our new Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, I am hopeful for our success. If you haven't heard it, I hope that you catch it, because it was an excellent speech at the State Department. And Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, I don't envy the decisions that you will have to make, but I know they will be made with wisdom and discernment.
What's his name?
And I'll be praying for you, because this year is going to be different. I definitely know that, especially from Mayor's speech from last time. I also want to acknowledge the brave men and women of the city staff who will be taking calls and messages such as traffic is important, education is important, but to me, Taco Tuesday is going to be important. Stick that in the budget. But Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, I'm glad we have a republic. I'm glad that people like us, citizens, and you saw our veterans here. I care very much for them because they fought so hard for us. And we have people from fire department, from education, veterans that will represent us, and I do trust in you. I do trust that our republic will stay strong. And I echo the speech from our president. From this moment on, America's decline is over. Our golden age has begun. And I believe that for our city as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember, do you have any other business or future agenda items you want to talk about?
We are going.
This guy's
And,
face
you
says
kind
it
of
all.
gave me this idea.
Hey,
So I
every
gotta
time
share
he
the
goes
credit
by,
with
he
you,
looks
but,
at us in
we
disgust.
talk a lot
Oh,
about
he shook
traffic
his
and
head when he was
surprise.
talking about the first.
Rightly so, we talk about
Did
Northwest
he?
Surprise because there are some concerns there and also
Oh.
on West Surprise, but, you know, Bell Road is quite the road, and it's only, you know, we've done a lot to mitigate some of the traffic concerns on Bell Road, but as City Center builds out, it would be nice to have like a work session or just like a review, whether it's part of our strategic plan or it's a work session by itself on Bell Road and just some traffic improvements we could do. The ones that come to mind are specifically that I'm thinking of, and it could be more than this, but extending or adding left-hand turn lanes, specifically at Bell and Litchfield, that oftentimes gets backed up so far that you know, if you're trying to go straight and you're in the left lane, you can get stuck 2-3 lights. We've done a lot of things. The city has done a lot. Blinking yellow lights, adding a left-hand turn lane at Reams, but it would just be nice to take a look at Bell Road and just work with Eric and maybe take a look at some what improvements we can do, because one of my biggest gripes with government is that, and not us, of course, because, right, no, I'm just kidding. But one of my biggest gripes with government in general is that we're too reactive, right? We wait till something becomes an issue and then we have to like play catch up. So with this thing, you know, we see City Center building out. I'd like to see us be proactive and take a look at Bell Road. So.
Thank you for that. And as we, the strategic planning sessions that we're going to have, I think those ideas, and any council member that has some ideas, we can work together to just make sure that we are representing the city and we're come good idea.
Could be early morning.
So, just like Council Hastings, there's, like that, I don't know if you specifically requested a certain part of it, but I'd like it to be citywide. I talked to Eric about it, and not just Bell Road, but some other areas in my district were brought up, Island Preparatory, was actually one of them. And this subject comes up a lot, that's school traffic, school safety. Almost like the requirements that ADOT has for high schools, which we're gonna talk about this about 50 years ago. I worked harder for them. Everybody but, and
not the same as it used to be where parents let kids walk to school. So how do we do it different? And I think we should all talk about it. There are states in which haven't addressed. And it's not our specific address. We're working on having we should be talking about. And then other areas we see terrible and we should be hawks. So stop trying to get
Ready to go? Yeah.
Hey, where's toe tag? Is toe tag still there?
Yeah, oh yeah, sure. I'm sorry, I couldn't tell what you were saying. Is that what you were saying there? I'm so sorry. That was a great speech, thank you. I'm glad you asked, because I really didn't want to, but somebody's got to do it.
Well, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep an eye on the to see if I update it. The next city council, what is that, 10 years?
I want to congratulate the mayor and council members.
What kind of,
Mayor Sartor, and Mayor Sartor, they're not all. I don't know if they're turning on the power. We're looking for someone to run for mayor, and you stepped up and asked me to do with the team.
No, he's volunteering, so, thank you for clearing the speech.
People surprised, but okay. I'm super hungry.
Somebody says something useful. It's not you. It was good.
The other thing is, I want to thank Keith Pena. Keith Pena gets a lot of love from his fans. Sorry, maybe it's too soon. But he is doing a great job. He is, and I have full confidence in him as our police chief. One of the things he's working on right now is putting a police officer, a school resource officer in every school in Surprise that wants one. That is a huge deal, and not many cities can say that they're doing it. So I just want to thank you for his work on that.
Is it good?
Progress, we obviously have that.
Good.
Making sure we spend on the streets. Super grateful.
It's time to go eat, man. We haven't eaten since Carl's Jr.
That's right, let's do it.
There it is. There's that lamb.
All right, guys. That's about it. I'm going to be closing it out. We're leaving the, now we gotta, or maybe rush back. Yep, Grande. There's Grande Johnson.
you should have went up there and sang.
Sang your song with you?
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're gonna get out of here. It's already dark. Thanks for watching, guys.
Right. Well, you know what? We can stream here, guys.